Thank you. Hey, what's up, guys? Daniel Cole here with Faith Not Sight Ministry. And today, I'm a little bit sick. But I really wanted to do this YouTube live stream today. So hopefully we'll get some people coming in. So let's see if there's anybody on right now. Please leave comments down below if you guys are in. You guys are going to hear some noise because it's my laptop. And y'all know me. We blind up in here. And just so you guys know, we're going to be talking about blind student experiences. And I know the camera's somewhere here, but I also have the laptop here. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, where do I look? But blind problems, guys. Hashtag them blind people. Okay, let me see here. So come on, guys, help me out here. Come on, let's log in. Let's watch this. Come on. 127. All right. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about blind student experiences, and specifically what I want to talk about is what is it like being a blind student? Is there any issues? Is there any pros and cons, actually? You know, because I think sometimes as students we think, oh, you know, we don't really work, especially if we're full-time students, even though props to those and kudos to those that work full-time. I don't work full-time and go to school full-time. That's like crazy. But I know people that do it. That's insane, dude. Like, that's a lot. But let me see here. Make sure to leave your comments, guys. Leave your comments, people. I'm so sorry that I'm sick. I should have probably just waited a little bit more, a few days, but you know, we got to battle through it, right? We got to persevere up in this thing right here, up in this stream. All right. So let me see here. I'm gonna wait. Maybe like, should we give it like 2-3 more minutes? It's been 2:48 minutes. I'm not really sure if there's people watching. I don't know how to tell, but if you're not, please comment. Maybe I could find out that way. And again, I'm really new at this, so bear with me. I think we have 2 people watching. Hey, what's up, guys? Daniel Costa here from Faith Not Sight Ministry. And today we're going to be talking about blind student experiences up in this stream. Okay, wait. Okay, so I have a laptop here, and I know the camera's here, and I'm over here. Okay, so guys, today we're going to be talking about blind student experiences, okay? And so we're going to talk about the pros and the cons. If you guys want to give a shout out to anybody, or you want to, if you have questions about being a blind student, why don't you put them down in the comments below so I can start answering some questions in like a few minutes. So I'm going to jump into it. So one of the cons, I want to start with the negatives first because there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons, right? But one of the cons is, and excuse me because I'm a little bit sick, but one of the cons to being a blind student is that looking for your classes. So as you know, different campuses are different. For example, when I was at North Shore Community College, that college, my campus was in Lynn, and that was one building. It was 3 floors, but it was one building. I didn't have to walk outside. And as you guys know, in New England, we have snow. So being in one building the entire day, that's really good. Now I'm at Salem State University. The good thing is that my classes are either online or in the social work building because I'm a social work major. But if I wasn't a social work major, I'd have to travel all over the place, all over campuses, because there's 3 campuses plus the North Shore. I mean, sorry, the Salem State campus. The other thing is looking for your classes within the building. As you guys know, the first few days, they're really full. There's a lot of traffic. People are looking for classes. Well, imagine that traffic and not being able to see. You lose your landmarks. So when you're using your white cane, you kind of travel along the wall. But guess what? What if there's somebody sitting on the floor? Well, now I lost my kind of like my way of walking, right? Because now I don't know where to go. Now I'm like, wait a minute. I lost the wall. Did I go past the corner? Was he sitting at the corner? Like, what happened? Or sometimes people, and you young people, sometimes young people are on their phones and they're looking down like this. They're not looking up. So when they're walking and they bump into me, guess what happens? They drop their phone and they think that I'm not blind, because when they look back, they don't see my cane. They just know their phone fell and that I bumped into them. So they're thinking like, can't you see? You know, type of thing. And sometimes they say it like, excuse me, are you blind? And I'll be like, yeah, actually I am blind. Like, hello, I have a big white cane in my hands, you know. But the other thing, looking for a desk. Sometimes people are really awkward. So I remember one time I walked into my class, right? And I could tell people were having a conversation. People were talking and this and that. As soon as they hear my cane go tuck, 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 everybody, like the whole classroom shuts down, like mute everyone. And I'm like, like make it weirder than it has to be, you know? And when I sit down, the people were like, well, first I'm looking for a desk, you know? And then I'm like, excuse me, is there a desk here? And they're like, no, not there. How about here? Not there. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, it wouldn't be very difficult if you just got up and showed me where the empty chair was, or if you gave me pretty good directions, right? But, and I understand not everybody knows how to socialize with a blind person, and that's totally fine. I get it. But that happens. Books, having accessible books. Not all books are made accessible immediately. Some books take time to be made accessible. Especially math books, to my experience, have been the most difficult. And science books like biology, chem, especially if you don't like those subjects like me, really hard. I'm more of a, you know, political science, philosophy, theology, English, like those are my topics, especially speech. But math and science, that's not really my thing. So it's like, it's already hard to understand, and then to be made accessible, it's really hard. So think of all like making graphs accessible and charts and videos and handouts and blah 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 blah. It's not easy, right? But it's not impossible. I got an A- in statistics, and I think a B+ in biology actually. So it's not impossible, guys. What else? Oh, another con is looking for a restroom to use. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person that I don't like public restrooms. Like if I use a restroom, it has to be one stall. It can't be like multiple stalls. It can't be like shared with like a stall and a urinal and another urinal. Like I don't like that. I don't know why. I've always been that way. I've always felt uncomfortable. So if there's not a restroom like that around me, I'll just go home. Like I'll just wait until I get home, which is not the best, you know, but that's what I do. So sometimes when I'm at school, especially like at North Shore, or now that I'm at Salem State, I've been able to find restrooms where I feel comfortable, and I'm not going to tell you where they are because then you're going to look for me. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you're at Salem State, really the one I recommend would be in the first floor of the library. That would be awesome, you know? Let me see here. Another con, in class with teachers, when they're writing something on the board. For example, I remember my math teacher back in the days. I love her, but she was awesome, but she, work in progress. But she was awesome, but she would do this. Okay, so you're going to do this right here. Then you're going to move this over here. And then you're going to do this like this. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, what does this right here mean? And how do you move this over here? I don't know what that means because I don't know what you're circling. I don't know what you're underlining. I don't know, right? So you need to be more explanatory. So one of the things that they ask you in the beginning, and something I recommend, is that you advocate. In other words, you need to get your teacher, pull them aside before class begins, and tell them, look, If you could send an email, that's even better. But tell them, look, I have this disability, and this is how you can accommodate it. And from my experience, this has been most effective. And I would ask that you would not do these things. That way they know your comfort zone, what you feel comfortable with, what's most effective for their educational style towards you, because you're paying them to teach you. So make sure you're being taught the way you're going to learn, right? And then another con is, homework, right? I mean, that's already a con to begin with, but research, having to cite things, right? Like, for example, APA or MLA, so-and-so left parent, 2014 right parent states that blah, 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 period, left paren, author, and then the title and blah, 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 like, and like all those things. It's like, it's difficult, right, to memorize, especially if you're blind. Like, it's not an easy thing, but you got to do what you got to do. Another con I would say is getting lunch. You have those long days at school. How do you get to the cafeteria? Especially if it's a huge cafeteria like at Salem State. Our cafeteria, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 floors. And they have a bunch of options, which is good, but it's not very blind friendly. In other words, it's hard to navigate. I'm so sorry, guys. It's hard to navigate, and it's like, how do I get my food? So sometimes I have to order food where I know they can deliver it to me, but I'm spending more money. Or sometimes I have to go to another place on campus that I know it's easier to get to, just so that I can eat. Or I can bring food to school, but that just means I have to carry more items, right? And when you're at school all day, the last thing you want is to have a... Oh, Jesus. Do you guys hear that? That's what happens when you live in the ghetto. I don't know what happened out there, but anyways. Yeah. So another con. I think that's really, for now, that's really it. I mean, even like navigating campuses, sometimes if your campus is separated by neighborhoods, if you live in the, like, where there's snow, sometimes people don't clean their sidewalks and the city's not required to do it. So sometimes it's hard to navigate in that sense. Or some people don't clean up after their dogs and their, I don't know what other animals you walk other than dogs. They're giraffes. No, they're elephants. No. So just clean up after your pets, especially, like, regardless, you should just always do that. You wanted a pet, take up responsibility for your pet and do that. Now, before I get into the pros, I want to see if anybody's on, and let's see if anybody commented. Remember to leave any questions, guys. Okay. All right. So one of the questions that I feel people ask me the most is, how do you do math? Well, when I was in my stats class, I used Microsoft Word and I used Google. I used, as a calculator, I used my brain a lot. In other words, I would imagine and I would memorize everything. One of the pros about being blind, though, is that you memorize formulas in math. One of the cons is that in stats, formulas are really long. So you have to have pretty good memory. And repetition is the key, Another thing, well, let's get into pros, actually. So one of the pros, and again, I'm not going to mention all the cons and all the pros because this video will be super long, but one of the pros is that people are friendlier. People at school, students will be friendlier to you. Even though you won't be invited to as many events, because not all events are accessible, you will be invited and you will usually get pretty good seats because you have a disability. Another pro is that, let me see here. Teachers are understanding. In other words, if you have an issue going on with your health, they're pretty good about saying, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. As long as you get it done, I won't take off points. But you have to be clear, be honest, Don't take advantage of it and be like, yeah, I'm just going to wait a week and tell them I was sick. Like, don't do that. Be honest, be truthful, and be sincere. Sorry, guys. And yeah, And I think one of the last things I'll mention for pros is I'm so sorry. Let me see here. School is fun. So let me get some water, guys. Wait for me here. Don't go. Where's the water? This is one of those blind problems when you're looking for water in your room and you can't find it. Okay, people, I'm back. I'm alive. Oh my gosh, that was so hard. Okay. Okay, we're back. So yeah, the last thing I'll mention is school is fun. So let me see. I'll leave it with that, guys. May God bless you all. This is Daniel Costa. This was my first live stream. Sorry, I'm sick, but remember to live by faith and not by sight. Bye, guys.